I've been living in Japan for a little while, and I've been picking up on little things here and there about Japanese culture that have greatly improved my life, little lifestyle hacks, if you will. And in this following list, you might find that you already do a lot of these things, or you may do none of them. So you may be wondering why I'm calling them Japanese. So I will be going over these life hacks, how they benefit you, what I've noticed about them in Japan, and if you have any life hacks of your own, please let me know in the comments. The following hacks can be done anywhere in the world, so please enjoy. Hack number 1. Take off your shoes inside. It is the year 2024. Take your dang shoes off. Now, many cultures around the world, you take your shoes off when you're at home. You leave the shoes at the door, period. In Japan, however, you will find yourself taking your shoes off in very random places. For example, you may walk into a building, just a random building, where there are no shoes. Or you may walk into a building where there are shoes, but then in some rooms, you take your shoes off, or like the bathroom. You may even find yourself putting your shoes on in the bathroom. And let's say you're at a mall and you find a pair of pants that you really enjoy, right? You want to wear those pants. You will go into the dressing room and you will find that if you do not take your shoes off, you'll be chased down by the staff going, please take your shoes off. So yeah, basically if you're going to wear socks, you take off your shoes. That's how I see it. But every gaijin in Japan has almost always accidentally worn their shoes where they're not supposed to. It's a habit. It happens. It's sort of like a where were you when kind of thing that we all share. So I have worn shoes inside 2 years of my life, of my entire life. And those 2 years in which I wore my shoes inside was because my roommates at the time insisted on doing so. So it was really against my will. And I gotta say, I was not a fan. It really always felt like in the back of my mind, right, I was sleeping with the dirt that was outside in the crime. I never felt like, no matter how much I cleaned the floors, that they were clean. I felt like they completely destroyed my rug wearing shoes inside. Like, if you have a rug, if you have carpet even, and you wear your shoes inside, like, it's just destroyed. So, yeah, I think for your peace of mind, you should really just, take your shoes off. And if you're one of those people that are like, well, I work on a farm and, it takes a lot of time, well, just get a stool, okay? Finnish people literally trudge around in the snow, in the dirt, and they take their dang shoes off, so you can too. I believe in you. Hack number 2, pick up after yourself. So here in Japan, children learn when they are very young to pick up after themselves. As soon as you spill something, as soon as you, do a little oopsie, you're going to be cleaning that up if you're very young. And this instills a sort of habit of if the thing happens, you fix the thing. And I think this is a fantastic habit to have. I think this is why Japan can be so clean. That's why you have a lot of efforts for even old people. You'll always see them cleaning up their neighborhood, canal alleyway, And I find it so sweet. And if you're like me, okay, you come home and, you think that you're clean, but you come home, you take off your pants and your work clothes. As soon as you get home, put on something comfy. You throw your clothes in a random spot and then don't remember them until you see them and you're like, I'm a failure. Why did I leave this here? I'm a slob. And it's a hard habit to get out of if you just don't pick up things immediately after you're done using them. Or let's say dishes, for example. You dirty a dish and you clean it right after. That should be normal. For me, it's very difficult. I don't know. Do you guys struggle with this? I certainly do. So I think that this hack is really beneficial because, you just save a lot of time. Like, if it becomes habitual for you to just do something like cleaning up after yourself and picking up after yourself, you'll be doing it without even thinking about it. So it really leaves you peace of mind to do other things. And it is true that every school in Japan, you spend at least 10 minutes a day cleaning. At least. So hack number 3 is being gentle with your belongings and really taking care of your things. So I was a teacher in Italy, and my students every day, they would come in like little balls of fire. They would just, with all this energy, come in with these backpacks that they would, fling around their heads, their stuff would be all over the place. Like, they'd be ripping things out of their books and coloring on them, and when it's time for them to play, they'd be playing soccer and like, ripping their shirts off and like, it just, at the end of the day, I'm like, wow, it was like a tornado, these little guys. And there's something so cute and so freeing about them. And it's very nice, very all well and good. However, I think in Japan, there's more emphasis on really taking care of your things. And this leads to, I think, having less things and higher quality belongings. So for example, Japanese students, they have these little backpacks, these little like kindergarten round backpacks, and they're very expensive. And the way in which Japanese students like put them away every day and like take them out, and it's just it was like really, I guess, inspiring for me. Like some high school students will get laptops or computers for their school. And I was so shocked to see that like almost every single student, the laptop was pristine, like new. And the more I looked at it, I was like, oh my God, there's no dirt on these laptops. Like they're so clean. And even at my work desk, I'm like, okay, I'm organized. I'm on my shit with that. I would be at my desk, take out my notebook, take out my pencil case. I'm like, my laptop's all crooked and I'm just like going in and there's like stuff everywhere. And then of course, when I leave my desk, I clean up a little bit, but I look around and everybody's desk is like so organized and they have like unbelievable amounts of things on their desks, but they're so organized. Even when they're sitting down and writing and using these things, everything has a place. And I think that's so inspiring, so interesting. It really like makes me want to put everything in a place at all times and keep everything clean. And another example of this is like business card culture. I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but in Japan, when you hand somebody your business card, you do it with both hands, you receive it with both hands, and you look it over, like you really read it, you talk about it, you put it in your wallet, like in a safe spot. And this really shows that you're appreciating the effort, the work that somebody has put into their business card, and you're, I guess, having gratitude for their efforts. And if we did this, right, if we gave so much care into our belongings and other people's belongings, from expensive backpacks to little tiny cards and business cards, we can really appreciate what we have already. We don't have to consume a whole bunch. We don't have to keep buying things. What we have is our treasures. So I really like this concept. So hack number 4, be courteous to people in public. Now, I don't know all about Japan and public spaces. I'm still learning. But first and foremost, everyone is watching you at all times. I'm just kidding, but it certainly feels like that sometimes. And I have gotten used to people staring at me in public, but I certainly feel scrutinized almost every time I leave the house. However, I understand that it's not always like malicious staring. Sometimes people are just curious. But in other words, people are paying attention to you when you're out in public. And public spaces in Japan are meant to be used by everybody. So in a way, they're sort of like their own space in itself, which you need to respect. So you may have heard people say, don't eat and don't drink in public. It's not that simple. It's not that simple here in Japan, right? The public space is the public space. So it's not owned by you. It's owned by everybody. It's its own separate space that you need to respect. And if you're eating, let's say, like an onigiri, and you're walking, and the rice is like falling on the ground, you are causing a lot of trash that causes bugs, that causes insects. Like it's a nuisance for other people. You don't want to be bothering other people. So, okay, sit your ass down and eat that oni. And you know what? That's fine. A lot of people do eat in public, and that's okay. But if you eat in public, you're going to have trash. And where are you going to put that trash? There are no trash cans in Japan. Like, there are, but they're very rare. So if you don't take that trash with you, you're going to litter. And that's not going to be good for the people around you. So if you're eating in public, you may get a lot of stares. Take your dang trash with you. Just take your trash with you. That's the problem. When I was in Tokyo a couple months ago, I was with a group of foreigners, and they were like, One of them was literally like, he looked so dehydrated, he looked so tired, and I'm like, dude, you need to drink water. There's a vending machine right here, let me get you some water. And he's like, no, you can't drink in public, you can't drink in public. I'm like literally looking at 50 different vending machines, right, with trash cans, okay? You can drink in public in Japan. The drinking in public is not the problem. The problem comes when you take it onto a train, when you drink and walk and you spill it everywhere. That's the problem, right? It's the trash element. So go ahead, and if you're dying of dehydration in Tokyo, take a fucking drink from the vending machine, drink it, and throw it away in a proper disposal unit, or take it with you. That's it, guys, that is it. The whole point is to be courteous in public. And if you have any other tips about being courteous in public in Japan, please leave them in the comments. I am still new to the whole public sphere in Japan. But the way that this can benefit you elsewhere in the world and not in Japan is that if you are courteous to people in public, you clean up after yourself, and you are aware of other people around you, then maybe it'll catch on. Maybe it'll catch on where you're from, and you can have nice things. But anyway, I'm getting off topic, sorry. Hack number 5 is, drumroll, put some color in your food. Yeah, so Japanese is a lot about presentation. When I came to Japan the first time, I saw a lot of dishes, right, that had little extra, like, plastic even in it, like, that looks like grass, from bento boxes, or like, they put like flowers even on top of a dish, and they didn't taste great. And I'm like, oh, you're just not supposed to eat that. There's a lot of that. So I went to Italy, and like they would put like little things on my plate, and I'd be like, wait, do I eat this? Like, do I? And they're like, yeah, of course you always eat everything on the plate, which is what I'm used to. In Japan, right, presentation is about shape, it's about color, and all of these things come together. That's why you have bentos that look so unbelievably aesthetically nice, is because it's part of the dish itself. A lot of things in Japan actually have similar flavors, surprisingly. So a chef will really stand out by the placement of said dish. Bento, right, so by the way in which the rice is shaped, by the karage and how it's arranged, all of these things contribute to the quality of the food even. One of my coworkers actually said that they wanted to put brown sugar on their rice to make their breakfast look a little more colorful. I was like, and she was really sad. And I was like, oh, what's the problem? Was it gross? Was it bad? And she was like, no, it was really good, but, I wanted to have a colorful dish. And instead my dish it actually just turned out to be really brown. And she was like, actually like upset about this. And I was like, dang, like color is actually a really big part of the dish here. And I noticed that even more now that like color, it's little splashes of like little dishes on the side. It's like really important, the color. And you'll find like crazy colored dishes like purples and reds and yellows. And yet not a lot of fruit. You won't see a lot of fruit. You won't see a lot of vegetables or dairy. Like the food groups are much lower, and yet the color is more integrated. I think the benefits of this is just, I don't know, being cute. You want to be cute? Do it. But anyway, those were my 5 hacks. Thank you for watching all the way. This is a new channel, so I would really appreciate it if you subscribe. I do new videos every single week. I'm actually so new to Japan. I've been living here for like 4 months only. And as I guess, grow up in learning things about Japan, I'd like to bring you guys along with me. We can learn about Japan together. Please let me know if you have any lifestyle hacks that you would like to share, anything that you know about Japan, anything at all. Please leave them in the comments, especially if you want to talk about how much you like this video, because I love you so much, and I'll see you next time. I'm at like 170 subs, maybe 160, and it's really special right now. I gotta say, like, every single one of you are like my favorite people, so thank you so much for your support. Yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.